Good evening. Welcome to Primetime News. We're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Thiruni Karunaratna, and here are tonight's top stories. Low pressure area in Bay of Bengal intensifies. Marks of a cyclone forming. Heavy rain up to 100 millimeters in several areas. Kalu and Nilwala rivers at flood risk level. LTL top officials divided employee welfare shares amongst themselves. Revelation made in Co. Heated situation in Parliament with MP Chaminda Vijayasiri's intervention. SJB's coalition with UNP must be grounded in fairness. Parliamentarian Rohana Bandara says.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය කියන්නේ බොහොම සුළුතරයට වැඩිච්ච පක්ෂයක්. සාර්ථකව ගොඩවල් ටික percentage ප්‍රමාණය පිළිබඳ අවධානය යොමු කරලා සාධාරණ විදියට සමව එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Government officials risk contempt of court. Additional Solicitor General Sumathi Dharmavardhana issues statement on delays in legal proceedings. Minister of Environment says no official request has been made by Thailand to return 2 elephants gifted by them. US sends world's largest warship towards the Caribbean islands. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accuses America of creating a new war. South Asia's fastest man and woman now from Sri Lanka. On to those stories in detail. The Department of Meteorology says that the prevailing rainy weather conditions are expected to continue until the 28th of October. The department adds that the low pressure area currently located over the southeast Bay of Bengal is likely to develop into a cyclonic storm by the day after tomorrow.
Due to a low-pressure area, the Department of Meteorology forecasts that heavy rainfall of around 100 millimeters may occur in the western, Sabaragamur, central, northwestern, northern and north-central provinces, as well as in the Galle, Matara and Trincomalee districts.
දිවයිනට ඊසාන දෙසින් ගිනිකොනදිග බෙන්ගාල බොක්ක මුහුදු ප්‍රදේශයේ මේ වන විට පවතින
A low pressure area currently lies over the southeast Bay of Bengal. The system is expected to further intensify over the next 24 hours into a depression, and by around the 27th there is a high possibility of it developing into a cyclonic storm. Due to the influence of this system, the prevailing rainy conditions over the island, particularly in the eastern and northeastern parts, are expected to continue and possibly intensify up to around the 28th.
වැසි තත්ත්වය තවදුරටත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology advises fishermen and naval communities to avoid venturing into the Bay of Bengal and eastern sea areas until further notice.
විශේෂයෙන්ම බෙන්ගාල බොක්ක මුහුදු ප්‍රදේශයේ ගැඹුරු මුහුදු ප්‍රදේශවල දීවර සහ නාවක කටයුතු වල යෙදෙන විශේෂයෙන් බහුත්
We especially advise multi-day fishing vessels operating in deep sea areas of the Bay of Bengal to move away from that region. Further, they are requested not to engage in fishing or naval activities in those deep sea areas until further notice. Additionally, fishermen and naval communities operating in the shallow sea areas from Kankasanture to Trincomalee and up to Batiklo are also advised not to go to sea until further notice. Likewise, those engaged in fishing and naval activities in the shallow sea areas from Galle to Hambantota and up to Pothuil are urged to exercise caution due to the potential impact of this system.
නොගැඹුරු මුහුදු ප්‍රදේශවල දීවර සහ නාවක කටයුතු වල දෙන ප්‍රජාවත් අවධානයෙන් කටයුතු කරන්න කියලා මතක් කර සිටිනවා.
During the 24-hour period that concluded at 8:30 am today, the highest rainfall was recorded from Nabada in Kalutara, measuring 121 millimeters. The Matugama Wogan estate received 111 millimeters, while Madampe recorded 100 millimeters of rainfall. Due to the heavy rain, a landslide occurred at Kirimativangur along the Balangoda Durakanda main road, completely blocking the road. In Nagoda, Kalutara, a house sustained severe damage when an earth mound collapsed onto it due to the continuous rainfall. In Potupitiya, Kalutara, falling trees caused damage to electricity and telephone lines. Because of the heavy rains, 6 sluice gates of the Rajangane Reservoir and 2 sluice gates of the Angamo Reservoir has been opened. Meanwhile, due to ongoing rainfall, 2 spill gates of the Kalawava Reservoir remain open. Water is being released into the Kalawaya, and as a result of its overflow, the road from Aukana to Kakirawa has been submerged near the Aukana Bridge. In the meantime, the National Building Research Organisation reports that the landslide warnings issued for several divisional secretariat divisions in 10 districts remain in effect. According to senior geologist Vasantha Senadira of the NBRO, the warnings are active in several DS divisions in the Galle, Kandy, Kegol, Ratnapura, Colombo, Kalutara, Kurunagala, Matale, Matara and Nuwara districts.
As the Disaster Management Centre, we have made all the necessary preparations. The Emergency Operations Room is functioning around the clock with cooperation of all 25 districts, the Tri-Forces and the police. We are fully prepared to respond to any emergency situation that may arise. Please remember that the 117 hotline is open 24 hours a day for all citizens to contact us.
විශේෂයෙන්ම මතක තියාගන්න 117 දුරකථන අංකය 24 පුරාම විවෘතයි. ඒ හා සියලුම ජනතාවට සම්බන්ධ විය හැකි වෙනවා.
The Department of Irrigation has warned that the Kalu and Nilwala rivers are at flood risk levels due to ongoing heavy rainfall.
A minor flood warning has been issued, particularly for Kudaganga, a tributary of the Kalu Ganga, as well as for Bulat Sinhala and surrounding areas. Considerable rainfall has also been recorded in the Kalini River and Attanagalu Oya regions. Residents living in low-lying areas are urged to exercise special caution. The upper and lower catchments of the Ganga also pose some risk and require vigilance. Water levels are notably high at measuring points in Kalutara, Ratnapura, Millakanda, Putupaula and Allagawa.
Let's move on to more local news. It was revealed yesterday at the Committee on Public Enterprises that the shares allocated for employee welfare at Lanka Transformers Limited or LTL had been distributed among senior officials. Now, Lanka Transformers Limited was summoned to yesterday's COPE meeting to clarify this matter following questions raised about the Ceylon Electricity Board during the COPE session on the 25th of September.
ඔබේ ආයතනය ගත්තම රජයේ විගණනයට ඉඩ නොදෙන ලද ආයතනයක් විදිහට තමයි තියෙන්නේ. LTL ආයතනය 1980 දී බිහි කරන්නේ විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයට 70%ක කොටස් සහ බෝනාලොන් කියන ස්කොට්ලන්ඩ් සමාගමකට 30% කොටස් ප්‍රමාණයක් ඇතුව මුලින්
පොයින්ට් එක එක්කෙනෙක්ට තියෙනවා ෂෙයාර්ස් තව එක්කෙනෙකුට තියෙනවා ලොකු ෂෙයාර්ස් නේ මං කියන්නේ 1 2 කියලා තියෙනවනේ. ඒකට හේතුව මොකක්ද කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් පැහැදිලි කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
කම්පැනිය ෆෝම් කරනකොට ප්‍රයිවට් ලිමිටඩ් කම්පැනියක් නම් දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ සබ්ස්ක්‍රයිබර්ස්ලා. ඔය කියන ඒක පබ්ලික් කම්පැනියක් වෙනවා නම් එහෙම ඒකේ 7 දෙනෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඔය කියන අවස්ථාවේදී ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් 7 දෙනෙකුට 1 share දාලා 7 shares වලින් කම්පැනිය ෆෝම් කරනවා.
කියන්නේ ඒක සමාගම් පනතේ තියෙන නීතිය අනුව.
සමාගම් තියෙන නීතිය අනුව.
96 වෙනකොට එතකොට ඔබතුමත් ඩිරෙක්ටර් කෙනෙක්ද?
96 වෙනකොට
මේ 100ට
නෑ මම මට මතක නෑ.
Mr. Nauman. At what point you joined to this company?
I joined in 1997.
97 එතකොට ඔබතුමාට මේ ෂෙයාර් එක තිබ්බේ නැද්ද?
97 ෂෙයාර් එක තිබුණා.
අතර කම්පැනිය ෆෝම් කරන වෙලාවේ ඔබතුමා නෑ නේද? මිස්ටර් මරික්කාර්.
sorry, I had joined on 95.
ඔබතුමා දන්නේ නැතුව අනිත් අය කොහොමද? මේක ජෝක් එකක් කරගන්න නම් බෑ. දාල් නිලධාරීන්ට සියලු දෙනාටම කියන්න. මේක පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කෝප් කමිටු. මේක ජෝක් එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක හරියට මතක තියාගෙන වැඩ කරමු. ඔබතුමා දන්නේ නැහැ ඔබතුමා ජොයින්ට් උනේ කවුද කියලා අනිත් අය තමයි ඒක මතක තියාගෙන එහෙම බෑ. මේක ඍජුව කෝප් කමිටුව පහසට ලක් කිරීමක් ලෙස සැලකනවා. 76 කොහොමද ට්‍රස්ට් එක මත ගොඩනගෙන මේ ආයතනයේදී මේ 15 දෙනෙකුට ෂෙයාර්ස් වලින් 76ක් ගියේ.
දැන් මමත් සේවකයෙක්. මටත් ඔකේ ෂෙයාර්ස් තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපිට හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා. මෙතන ඉන්න ගොඩක් කට්ටියට හැමෝටම වගේ ලාභාංශ ලැබිලා තියෙනවා.
ඔව් ලැබිලා තියෙනවා.
ඊට අමතරව කම්පැනියේ පර්මනන්ට් හිටපු හැමෝටමත් ලාභාංශ හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා පහුගිය අවුරුදු වල දිගටම. ඇත්තටම මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ 110 මේව කළා අරගෙන සේවකයෝ අතර බෙදා ගන්න එක කෝප් කමිටුවට මොකක්ද ඒකේ කියන්නේ මේක අපි පෞද්ගලික මේව එකක් නේ.
So you are questioning back the co-op committee?
No, not sir. I'm asking just no, actually it's a private and
so how much okay, before you go there, how many shares you have there?
I could not remember. It's I think
you can't remember?
I can tell you it's about
how many shares you have?
It's in which company?
ඒක තමයි. ඔබතුමා දැන්
we were talking about this Tech Pro. මාරිකා මහත්තයා මේ පොඩක් ඉන්නකෝ ඔබතුමාගෙන් අපි ඇහුවා ප්‍රශ්නයක් 2017න් පස්සේ කොහොමද මේක ගෙව්වේ කියලා. මොකද උනේ කියලා. ඒවා මේ ෂෙයාර්ස් තමයි. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ආයතනයේ බිලියන 10කට වැඩි ආයෝජනය කරලා තිනවා මහජන මුදල්. ඒ නිසා හැම දශමයකටම අහන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්න. ඒ නිසා ආගියුමන්ට් එකක් නම් කරන්නේ ඒක බෑ මෙතන කරන්න.
චමින්ද මැතිතුමා ඇහුවා ඔබතුමාට ප්‍රශ්නයක් දෙක. අපිට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ මෙතනයි. ට්‍රස්ට් එක ඇති කරලා ඔබතුමාලා
Shaminda asked whether we had any concerns about their procedures. Here is our concern. You, who set up the trust, take 3% from the CEB's share. In that case, the dividends from this do not return to the public. They go to a private company. This also raises questions regarding auditing. The shares are diluted. Only a fraction of the directors remain. While in other companies with 7 or 8 entities, individual shareholders move their shares around in this manner. Even if the split was 70% and 30%, we would not question your efficiency. With 70%, however, I believe only about 5% effectively remains. That is why we are asking these questions.
Meanwhile, a heated situation arose when a member of parliament, Chaminda Vijayasiri, questioned the summoning of a private company before the Committee on Public Enterprises for questioning.
මේ නීත්‍යානුකූලවද මේ පෞද්ගලික සමාගම ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න කියන කාරණේ පිළිබඳව මම මේ ස්ථාවර යෝග කියවල මේ ආයතන කීපයක් තිබෙනවා.
ඔබතුමා මුලදී සම්බන්ධ වීම නිසා තමයි උදේ පාන්දර අයිලි වල මේක වාඩි වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔබතුමා මැදින් පැල්ලි වල මේක කරන්න බෑ. මේක අල්ල කරන්න එපා ඔබතුමා. මෙතන
මට මේකටම එන්නේ කියලා නෑ මම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ආපු වෙලාවේ මට ඒක පාදිලි කරගෙන වා සභාපති නෙවෙයිනේ. වා සභාපති නෙවෙයිනේ. වා සභාපති වෙන්න යන්න එපා. වා සභාපති වෙන්න යන්න එපා.
නෑ ඉන්න
සභාපති කියන්නකෝ. මන්ත්‍රීතුමා කියන්න ඕනේ නෑ. මම සභාපතිතුමා ඇහුවේ. අර වාට කලින් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව අපි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඔබතුමා ආරම්භ විදිහට පැහැදිලි කරා. ඔබතුමා හිත වෙලාවක් දෙන්න මන්ත්‍රීවරු උන්ට එතනින් පස්සේ එන්න එපයි කියලා. එහෙම තියනවාද මේක විරීති රේඛයක්?
උදේ පාන්දර පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කළා තමයි පටන් ගත්තේ.
කියනවාද නිශ්චිත වෙලාවෙන් පස්සේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු එන්න එපයි කියලා?
දැන් හරිද? දැන් හරිද?
ඔව් දැන් හරි.
හරි එහෙනම් ඔහොම තියන්නකෝ. මං කියන්න හදන්නේ. මේ ආයතනයේ ගෙනාපු විදිය ගෙනාව තියෙන ඌමනාවත් සියල්ල පැහැදිලි කරා. ඒක පළවෙනි මූලික අවස්ථාවේ කරේ. හරිනේ. මේ ආයතනය ගෙන්නෙව්වේ CB එකේ පරීක්ෂණය සම්පූර්ණ කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය කරුණු ගොනු කරගන්න.
SJB parliamentarian Rohana Bandara says that any coalition with the United National Party should only occur in contexts that uphold the principles of fairness for the Samagit Janabala Vigir. He added that the United National Party has by now been reduced to a minority party.
The two parties must unite. There is no debate about that. However, any coalition must be carried out in a way that is fair to the SJB. Today, the main claim to political inheritance is held by the SJB as the principal opposition, while the United National Party has been reduced to a very minor role. When we enter discussions, it must be as two parties. I believe that those participating in these discussions will be people with a good understanding of politics. That way, attention can be paid to percentages in building a successful coalition, ensuring everyone is fairly represented. I hope that this can be resolved in that spirit.
MP Rohana Bandara made these remarks against the backdrop of several internal issues within his party, which he had acknowledged publicly in recent statements.
SJB is a party that values democracy highly, but like any party, internal matters sometimes arise. Lately, the media has been reporting that I have stepped away from political activities in Anuradhapura, but I haven't stepped away from the role entrusted to me by the people. We still have some internal issues to work through within the party.
අපිට යම්කිසි කාරණා කීපයක් තියෙනවා විසඳාගත යුතුව ඒක අභ්‍යන්තර කාරණයක්.
According to Rohana Bandara of the SJB, there are several issues within the party that need to be resolved internally. Amid all of this, there are talks about a potential SJB-UNP alliance. So, what's really happening with this coalition? Let's go back in time, shall we? The decision for the Samagi Jana Balawega to join forces with the United National Party was made by its working committee on the 9th of October 2025. To explore how to collaborate with the UNP, a special committee was appointed that same day, chaired by Member of Parliament Kabir Hashim. Other members of the committee include Iran Vikramaratne, Mujibur Rahman and S.M. Marikar. On the day the committee was appointed, the secretary of the Samagi Jana Balawega had this to say. According to SJB General Secretary, there is no disagreement between the SJB and UNP. There are no internal conflicts regarding discussions. However, despite this, discussions about the SJB-UNP coalition are currently happening confidentially. We are not the ones saying this. It is the SJB General Secretary himself.
රහස් නැතුව පුනවද නැතිනම් කොච්චර ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක කඩන්න බලනවද සමහර අය උත්සාහ කරනවා ඒකට කුමන්ත්‍රණ තියෙන එක නිසා අපි බොහොම රහස්‍යගතව අපේ වැඩේ හරියට කරනවා.
So, according to SJB General Secretary, who is orchestrating these strategies to foil their plans? Is it coming from within the UNP, from the SJB itself, or is the SJB simply not ready to join forces with the UNP? One of the committee members appointed to explore coalition with the UNP, Deputy Chief Organizer S.M. Marikar, gave the following response recently.
අපි ඩබල් ඩෙකර් එකක් දාලා නැහනේ. අනේ මහත්තයා ඒක අහන්න ඕනේ තුමගේ. ඔය බස් එකේ මොකටද? අච්චාරුවකට අපි එකතු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ඒකත් කියන්න. ඉතින් ඒක අපි දැනගන්න ඕන විකල්ප වැඩ පිළිවෙල දාලා අපි එතනට ගේන්නේ. අන්න ඒකට තමයි බූස්ට් එක ඕන වෙන්නේ.
According to S.M. Marikar, he and the SJB are not interested in being part of any messy situation. Meanwhile, the UNP Working Committee discussed these coalition plans last Wednesday. After that, a 3-member committee to hold discussions with the SJB was also appointed. This committee includes Deputy Leader Ruwan Wijewardena, General Secretary Attorney Thalathatha Korala, and President's Counsel Ronald Pereira. Even though 2 separate committees were appointed from both parties seemingly in a hurry, according to the SJB General Secretary, the 2 committees hadn't met or discussed anything together until last week.
පක්ෂ දෙකේ කමිටු දෙක තාම රැස්ුන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් අපේ අපිපත් කරපු කමිටුවේ වාර්තාව ලබන බදාදා කළමනාකරන කමිටුවට ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. ඉතින් සාකච්ඡා සාර්ථක වෙනවා කියන එක තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ.
3 days have passed since Ranjit Madhumabandara's statement. Yet, there is still no clear answer about what will happen with the SJB-UNP coalition. Any country needs a strong and effective opposition. That's why discussions about this coalition are significant for the nation. The people want a strong opposition that won't collapse, one that is new and visionary. After decades of political experience, what are these leaders really planning now? Is this just another political deal? Who is giving the deal? And who is taking it? The people are watching.
Newsfirst with the people.
Additional Solicitor General President's Counsel Sumathi Dharmavardhana says that intentional delays of court proceedings by state officials could amount to contempt of court.
Additional Solicitor General President's Counsel Sumathi Dharmavardhana made these remarks while participating in a program organized to educate public officials about the Contempt of Court, Tribunal or Institution Act.
මේ වෙනකොට රජයේ නිලධාරීන්ට විරුද්ධව අභ්‍යාචනාධිකරණය ගොනු කරලා තියෙන නඩු ප්‍රමාණය අතිමහත්. ගත්තොත් මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයේ හිටපු ලේකම්තුමා
The number of cases filed against government officials in the Court of Appeal is enormous. For instance, contempt of court cases have been filed against the former secretary to the Ministry of Finance and senior officials of the Ministry of Finance. Similarly, a rule has been issued in a contempt of court case against the Director General of Sports of the Department of Sports. Once such a rule is issued, the individual concerned may be named as an accused and remanded in custody. It is therefore essential that government officials are aware of this law. You are the guardians of the public service of the Republic of Sri Lanka. When you are in trouble, it is not just you as an individual. It is the Republic that faces the consequences. If you act without understanding this and escalate matters unnecessarily to the Attorney General's department, we too are placed in a difficult position. We have already decided that if a court rule is issued based on mispresented facts, the Attorney General will appear to defend those government officials. However, this protection is not unlimited. It depends on the circumstances and the nature of the mistakes made, sometimes by the Secretary or the Minister. It is a subjective matter. If there is a matter before the courts, treat it with utmost respect, like a sacred duty, and extend full cooperation to the Attorney General's department. Always act in accordance with its instructions. At present, there is a growing trend of increased litigation, and the courts are keen to prevent unnecessary delays. If a case is delayed because the required report has not been submitted by a government official, that delay can be treated as contempt of court, provided it is a deliberate violation.
දිනෙන් දින නඩු කල් යනවට. ඒ නඩු කල් යන හේතුව ඇවිල්ලා රජයේ නිලධාරියෙකුගෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන වාර්තාවක් නොලැබීම නම් එය අධිකරණයට අපහාස කිරීමක් හැටියට එය ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක හැබැයි චේතාන්විතව උල්ලංඝනය වීමක් විය යුතුයි.
Now, Minister of Environment Dr. Dhammika Pattabandi says that Thailand has not yet officially informed Sri Lanka about returning 2 elephants that were gifted to the country. He made this comment following reports in the Thai media suggesting that discussions are currently underway to take the 2 elephants gifted to Sri Lanka back to Thailand for treatment.
Thai media reported yesterday that 2 elephants, Play Sring Harong and Play Prathufa, both gifted by Thailand to Sri Lanka, are expected to be the subject of discussions with the Sri Lankan government on the 28th of October regarding their return to Thailand. The reports indicate that these measures are being taken due to mistreatment of the elephants while in Sri Lanka, prompting efforts to return them to Thailand. Play Prathufa was the first elephant sent to Sri Lanka in 1979 when he was 12 years old. This elephant, currently aged 51, is popularly known as Vijay Raja or Thai Raja and resides in the elephant enclosure at the Sri Dada Maligava in Kandy. The other elephant, Play Sring Harong, was brought to Sri Lanka in 2001 at the age of 9. This 29-year-old elephant now belongs to Kalani Rajma Viharaya. The tusker named Kandula was brought to Sri Lanka along with Saksurin or Muturaja, the tusker known to have the longest tusks in Sri Lanka, and lived in the Aludgama Viharaya. Media reports suggest that the process being followed for the return of these 2 elephants to Thailand will mirror the procedure previously used for transporting Muturaja.
This
conversation emerged following a statement made on the 23rd of October by Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Resources and Environment on his social media page. They expressed hope that the 2 elephants previously gifted to Sri Lanka would be returned to Thailand and announced that discussions would take place on the 28th of October. So far, the Ministry of Environment has not received any official notification from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding this matter. This is a transaction that must occur at a governmental level. If such transactions take place, we can then comment on the matter.
Biz Fast.
The price of gold in the global market rose today, reaching $4,119.9. However, local gold prices remained unchanged compared to yesterday. Accordingly, the price of a pound of 24-carat gold is 325,000 rupees, while a pound of 22-carat gold is priced at 300,600 rupees.
The 5th workshop of the Chef's Hunt program, organised by Pyramid Wilma Private Limited, was held today in Anuradhapura. Chef's Hunt is jointly conducted by Newsfirst and Pyramid Wilma Private Limited with support from the Chefs Guild of Sri Lanka and the National Apprenticeship and Technical Training Authority. Today's workshop included a practical training as well as a written assessment. The program targets young aspiring chefs aged 18 to 25, providing them with the skills and knowledge to pursue a career in the culinary field.
Justice Surya Kant, the most senior judge of the Supreme Court of India, stressed that lawyers and judges must always personally verify AI outputs, as human oversight cannot be compromised. He was speaking at the National Law Conference 2025, organised by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. The National Law Conference 2025 officially commenced yesterday in Kandy, marking the beginning of one of Sri Lanka's most prominent legal gatherings. Organised by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, the event brings together leading legal professionals, academics and members of the judiciary from across the country.
Let us discuss some of the perils and possible solutions. The first concern which normally I express is digital literacy and unequal adoption. Not all the lawyers or judges are equally comfortable with the usage of new technologies, particularly in regions where infrastructure or training is limited. This digital divide risks exacerbating inequalities. Some legal actors may leap ahead while many may be left behind. Therefore, capacity building, training programs, continuing legal education in legal technology, peer networks and public-private partnerships are vital. We must democratize access to legal technology, not let it become the privilege of the few. The second concern is data security, confidentiality and privacy. Lawyers deal in trust and therefore the confidentiality, privilege, data integrity and cyber security of their clients must remain sacrosanct. As legal professionals, they entrust more of their workflows to digital systems, thus the threat of hacking, data leaks or misuse becomes very real. It is incumbent upon us and our legal institutions to demand the highest standards of security. The third challenge is of accuracy, bias, hallucination and oversight. Also, the AI tools are not infallible. They can generate inaccuracy, fabricated or incorrect information, or reflect latent biases of their training data. In legal contexts, an error can have dire consequences. Experts have therefore warned that we should be more careful about trusting artificial intelligence in tasks that require judgment, creativity or prediction, because this is where people often overestimate what AI can do. Hence, human oversight is non-negotiable. The lawyers or judges must always remain the final arbiter, checking and validating the AI output.
Many of the problems which we face in this part of the world are common to our countries, and though ultimately each country must work out its own solutions, it can undoubtedly profit from the successes and mistakes of the others. In Western countries, the trend today is to go away from legal parochialism, or what Dean Roscoe Pound has called Main Streetism, and towards uniformity of legal solutions in many fields. It is well worth attempting to secure kind of cooperation between countries in the Asian areas of the world as well. Since Professor Nadaraja in 1962 advocated this theory of possibility of uniformity, I wonder whether we have achieved. Today is after 50 years, half a century. I'm not sure whether we have achieved that, but I will leave it to the audience.
One may possibly argue that Sri Lanka is already a resilient nation. We have overcome insurgencies, a long civil war, a devastating tsunami, a global pandemic, and a crippling economic crisis. and yet we continue to stand strong. Ladies and gentlemen, resilience is not the absence of hardship. It is a capacity to rise again with wisdom and strength. Today, as our country seeks to enter to the next phase of development, we as lawyers must be honest, must be objective, and self-reflective. We must look for the elephants in the room, acknowledge them, and find enduring solutions with courage and with clarity. Our duty is not merely to practice law, but to uphold the rule of law, not merely to earn a livelihood, but to protect the livelihoods, liberties, and hopes of others.
The National Law Conference 2025 will continue until the 26th of October in Kandy, featuring panel discussions, technical sessions and workshops focusing on topics such as constitutional law, human rights and technology in legal practice. The 80th United Nations Day was observed in Colombo, emphasizing Sri Lanka's commitment to peace and sustainable development.
The national observance of the 80th United Nations Day 2020, announced by the United Nations Association of Sri Lanka, was held in Colombo today. Deputy Speaker of Parliament MP Dr. Rizvi Sali was the chief guest for the occasion.
It was in the words of the former UN Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld, who said, "The United Nations was not created to take mankind to heaven, but to save humanity from hell." Sri Lanka joined the United Nations in 1955, a decade after it was formed. Since then, our nation has remained resilient, advocate of multilateralism, peacekeeping, disarmament and sustainable development, with all activities of the United Nations. We have to transform societies and break the cycle of poverty and cultivate peace through education. It should not be limited to classrooms or examinations. It nurtures critical thinking, empathy, and civic responsibility. It teaches us not just how to make a living, but how to live a life with purpose.
With the technological development and the current situation, one madman is enough to destroy the whole world with the press of a button. We are sitting on a bomb that can erode at any time. And with the technological development, it is so devastating. If not for all of us, none of us will be there to see the consequences of the war. Therefore, it is time now, collectively, build up a platform where we can negotiate and come to settlements within nations so that we have a peaceful world tomorrow.
The event was attended by members of Parliament, senior officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, members of the United Nations and its specialized agencies, intellectuals, professionals, teachers, students and the general public.
Classical Encounters, an enchanting evening presented by the Halpayandri School of Music, took place in Colombo last night.
The stage came alive at the Classical Encounters concert, where music, laughter and talent blended into one magical evening. Performers from the Halpayandri School of Music, ranging in age from 4 to 50, poured their hearts into every note. The audience was treated to sparkling performances on piano and violin, featuring works by great composers.
Live Strong Sri Lanka, a festival of health and fitness, was held today in Colombo.
The Live Strong Sri Lanka Festival of Health and Fitness was held in Colombo today, drawing large crowds of fitness enthusiasts and health-conscious individuals. The festival featured a series of exciting activities, including duathlons and community runs, strength and wellness competitions, and a vibrant healthy living expo. Participants also took part in nutrition and fitness workshops conducted by leading health experts and trainers. Proceeds from the event will be donated to programs aimed at combating non-communicable diseases in Sri Lanka.
And in news overseas, world and regional leaders are in Kuala Lumpur for the 47th ASEAN Summit, hosted by Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim under the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability. Now, this summit also marks US President Donald Trump's first visit to Asia since returning to the White House.
World and regional leaders are converging in Kuala Lumpur for the 47th Summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim will host leaders from ASEAN member states, along with top officials from the US, China, Japan, South Korea and other key partners for the three-day summit under the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability. More than 10,000 police officers have been deployed to the Malaysian capital to secure the meetings, which begin on the 26th of October and run through to the 28th of October. Representatives from the UN, including UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, World Bank, the International Monetary Fund and other global organizations are also expected to attend, while Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will join the meetings virtually. US President Donald Trump will attend a dinner with ASEAN leaders and is expected to witness the signing of a peace accord between Cambodia and Thailand, following deadly border clashes in July that ended after Anwar mediated a ceasefire. United States President Donald Trump is set to arrive in Malaysia for the first leg of a 5-day trip that spans Japan and South Korea. He's first to a region reeling from his aggressive trade tariffs since taking office in January.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has accused the United States of fabricating a new war.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has accused the US of fabricating a new war after it ordered the world's largest warship to be sent to the Caribbean. The USS Gerald R. Ford can carry up to 90 aircraft, and its deployment marks a massive increase in US firepower in the region. The US has conducted 10 airstrikes on vessels in the area as part of what it says is a war on drug traffickers. US President Donald Trump has accused Maduro of being the leader of a drug trafficking organization, which he denies. And there are fears in Venezuela that the US military buildup is aimed at removing the long-time opponent of Trump from power. The US is among many nations that do not recognize Maduro as Venezuela's legitimate leader after the last election in 2024 was widely dismissed as neither free nor fair. Opposition tallies from polling stations showed its candidate had won by a landslide.
Queen Sirikit, the mother of Thailand's King Vajiralongkorn, has died aged 93.
Thailand is in mourning following the royal palace's announcement that former Queen Sirikit, the mother of the current Thai king Mahavajiralongkorn and wife of the nation's late and longest reigning monarch Bhumibol Adulyadej, has died at the age of 93. According to the Thai Royal Household Bureau, she passed away peacefully in a Bangkok hospital on Friday. Sirikit had suffered several illnesses while in hospital since 2019, including a blood infection this month. For more than 6 decades, Queen Sirikit was married to Thailand's longest reigning monarch, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who died in 2016. King Vajiralongkorn has ordered the Thai Royal Household Bureau to organize a royal funeral. Queen Sirikit's body will lie in state at the Grand Palace's Dusit Thorn Hall in Bangkok. Thai royal family members will also observe a year of mourning. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has cancelled his trip to Southeast Asian Nations Summit in Malaysia due to Queen Sirikit's death.
Sri Lanka claimed the gold medals in the 100-meter sprint at the South Asian Senior Athletics Championships 2025, crowning the fastest man and woman of the region. Now, the title of South Asia's fastest man goes to Chamod Yodasinghe, while Shafia Yamek proudly takes the crown as South Asia's fastest woman.
Yes, there they go, clean start. Look at
The 2025 South Asian Senior Athletics Championship are being held in India from the 24th to the 26th of October. On the opening day, Sri Lanka's Chamod Yodasinghe won the gold medal in the men's 100-meter sprint, finishing the race in 10.30 seconds.
And absolutely great moment.
In the women's 100-meter sprint, Sri Lanka claimed both the gold and silver medals. The gold medal went to Shafia Yamek, who clocked 11.53 seconds, while the silver medal was claimed by Amasha De Silva of Sri Lanka, finishing in 11.72 seconds.
Amasha will take the silver. And in lane number 5,
Chamod Yodasinghe and Shafia Yamek's gold medal wins are notable as they came with new championship records. Meanwhile, in the men's and women's triple jump events, Sri Lanka also secured both gold medals. The men's gold medal went to Pasand Banshan, who jumped 16.19 meters, while the women's gold medal was won by Madhushani Herath with a jump of 13.36 meters. Shashini Upendra won the bronze medal in the same women's event. By the end of the first day, Sri Lanka had won 4 gold medals and 3 silver and bronze medals each.
Well, that's a wrap of your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.